Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19, Text 27. Satyam dishatyarthitam arthito nirnam naivarthado yat punararthitayatah swayam vidhatte bhajatam anichchatam ichhapidhanam nijapada pallavam. Satyam, certainly. Dishati, he offers. Arthitam, the object prayed for. Arthitah, being prayed to. Nirnam, by the human beings. Na, not. Eva, indeed. Arthadah, the bestower of benedictions. Yat, which. Punah, again. Arthita, a demand for a benediction. Yatah, from which. Swayam, personally. Vidhatte, he gives. Bhajatam, unto those engaged in his service. Anichchatam, although not desiring it. Ichhapidhanam, which covers all desirable things. Nijapada pallavam, his own lotus feet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives, but he does not bestow benedictions upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it. And that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. You understood? That's why I understood. Please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives, but he does not bestow benedictions upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it. And that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. Eventually, I have to have reading tests. How to read. Sometimes devotees, they read like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives, but he does not bestow benedictions upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. Like, you see the gaps, horrible reading. So when we read, we should read pausing at the correct times as well. Otherwise, why this is important? We don't understand what we're talking. We don't I don't want to take a dig, but that song, Govindam Adi Purusham So if you see the Angani yasya sakalen driyavrittimanti, if you see, they pause at the wrong time actually. Sakalen, what is Sakalen? Sakala Indriya, Sakalendriya. But to fit the tune, they just Sakalendriya Vrittimanti, Pashyan, Tipan, Tikalaya. Pashyanti, Panti, Kalayanti. Pashyanti means sees, Panti means maintains, Kalayanti means destroys. Pashyan, Tipan, Tikalayanti, Chiram. Half word you are splitting, and then this half and the other words, another half, you're putting together. When you sing like that, actually, you don't internalize it. I mean, all glories to them. I mean, the beginning of the movement, and they just sang and became very popular. That's fine. But when we sing that, we actually should know. I'm sure if I ask, what is the meaning of those two verses, devotees cannot tell. I can challenge. Do you know? What are we doing then? You know the meaning? Huh? You know the meaning of those? Don't know. You know the meaning? What Akinchana Vitta? That is Kunti's prayers. So we should know. Otherwise, these are all sounds. Sounds. Just some sound. No, it is not feeding our brain, feeding our mind, anything. It is just feeding our ears and then bouncing out. So when we are bowing down, actually we are glorifying the Lord with those verses. But if I don't even know what I'm not glorifying. That's why when we are singing Vaishnava song, we should attempt to understand as we are singing. Then you see how sweet it will be. You can sing feelingly. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, people sing in many styles, but Manohar Shai, yeah, he advocated for Manohar Shai style kirtan, which means, I don't know the technical definitions of those words, but his explanation of Manohar Shai kirtan is to repeat the same, not like too complicated tune, simple tunes, but repeat twice every line. The reason he said, because even if the mind is not drawn to the meaning when we are singing it the first time, when we are singing it the second time, our mind will come to the meaning. But now we are singing twice, but our mind is both times away. Just a sound we are doing. So that's why we should develop a mentality. When we are reading the Sanskrit or Bengali, we should identify, okay, without seeing the translation, can I understand it? How much can I understand? Then if okay, this is understand. Then I check the word to word. Yes, I was correct. Oh, I was wrong. Oh, I thought Buddha, but it is how to say Buddhi or Buddha, something like that. So it's a slight difference. Oh, okay, there's a difference. So if I notice like this every time, then I'll become quickly acclimatized to the language. Absolutely. If we are serious, we have to. The first reading of the scriptures, I don't say just read the English. I myself read like that. I never even bothered the Sanskrit. Just translation purport, verse, forget it. Because I just wanted to understand. And I think in the beginning, don't stress too much about word to word and all this. Just read translation purport, understand the philosophy. But as we go more advanced in our devotional service, we should learn, right? When we want to preach, we want to learn. And if you want to sing Vaishnava songs as well, absolutely we must know the meaning. When Vyasadeva asked Ganesh to write the Mahabharata, because Ganesh was fast in writing, on one condition that Vyasadeva asked him to write. What is the condition? Yes, he will dictate non-stop and he should write. But there is no condition. You know the condition? It's very simple. The condition is very simple. The condition was that he will be talking fast and he should write, but he should not write unless he understands. So Ganesh has to be so fast. If he does not understand, he cannot write. He should not write. That was the condition. Just imagine. So that should be our thing. When we are singing, say, a Vaishnava song, we should not sing the Vaishnava song and then later on read the meaning. While singing, time pass. I think of this and that, this and that. And then when reading, at that time I read. And that too I read pausing, different, horribly pausing. And then I don't even know what I read just now. So all this is very bad habit because it will not allow us to actually understand anything. The whole purpose of singing the song is defeated. But if we know what we are singing while we are singing it, beautiful. That is the standard. That is the reason why they wrote the song. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. That as we are reading, we will sing it feelingly. So we have nice tune, we have nice bhava, everything. We inculcate the proper mood of devotee. Okay. I want to be actually very particular because I'm seeing, even when Prabhu gives the class, Nugopal Prabhu, when the person who's reading has to read properly, otherwise the internalizing will not happen, the proper understanding will not happen. Of course, with practice it will come, but also guided practice, not just practice. If I practice the wrong way and then practice 100 times, 100,000 times, what is the use? I'm practicing it the wrong way. So guided practice should be there. And that's why I think I really should start Sanskrit pronunciation and Bengali pronunciation classes. Because Sanskrit pronunciation and Bengali pronunciation is not the same. Bharata Bhumite, okay, I'll show you. Example, 9:41, right? 9.41. Okay. How do we chant this? Sorry, this is totally irrelevant to the class topic, but when people are not accustomed, and I can understand for a newbie not to be accustomed. But after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 20 years, I'm still not accustomed. What the hell am I doing? What am I doing here? So, you know how people who are not accustomed read this? Bharata bhumite haila manushya janma yara janma sarthaka kari kara para upakara. That is if his pronunciation is perfect. Pronunciation is not perfect, then another whole level of. But how actually, because it looks like that, right? What I just read seems accurate, right? But what the real pronunciation is? Bharat bhumite hoilo manushya janma jar janma sarthak kore karo paropakar. That is the correct pronunciation of Bengali. So that Bengali pronunciation and Sanskrit pronunciation, we have to learn. We must learn. It's not a good to learn. No. Must learn if we really want to understand what is being said there. Yeah. Bharat bhumite hoilo manushya janma jar janma sarthak kore karo paropakar. Jogo. Yoga becomes jogo. Because I'm aware. But if you're not aware, then you wouldn't know, right? Right. Yeah, I can, but it's very slow. I can read Bengali, but because I just one day looked at the Bengali, I could read. But very slow. I haven't practiced it, and yeah. Because it's very similar to Hindi actually. It looks very similar to Hindi. So can catch it. But yeah, it's important. Important because when you know only the translation, your understanding will be limited. The perfect example of this is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Atma Rama verse, which he explained 64 different ways. And this is the one, 24,318. You see, Krishna Tulya Bhagavat Vibhu Sarvashroy Prati Shloke Pratyakshare Nana Artha Koy. Okay? It's not Kaya, Koy. Koy. So we need to get accustomed to that understanding, that pronunciation. But what I wanted to say is this: Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Artha Koy. That is important. See, Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna, the Supreme Lord and shelter of everything. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam and in each and every syllable, there are various meanings. So, if I know only the English translation that Prabhupada gave, and if I am not accustomed to the Sanskrit, Prabhupada gave one meaning in the translation. But if you see his lectures on that verse, he will expand upon more meanings of that. He will say, when he chants the verse, the important word here is this. He will say one word and then he expand upon that word. So you see that is not available in the books when you read. How he is explaining, because he understands the Sanskrit, it opens up a whole gamut of meanings that can be applied to that. And that's exactly how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains the Atma Rama verse. 64 different ways, one verse. So if we unpack like that every verse, we can speak so much about each and every verse. So when devotees sit here and they become stuck, don't know what to say, that's because when we read, we don't pay attention to the words. That's why I'm saying, when we are singing Vaishnava song, when we are singing all these songs every day, please pay attention to what you're singing, every word, every single thing. And when you're reading also, especially for the not first time readers, pay attention. But even in first time, if you're getting accustomed to Sanskrit, Bengali, pay attention to what is there, said there, and see the words, whether I understand. So pay some attention. It's very important. Otherwise, it's hard to deepen our understanding, deepen our mood properly. Very difficult. It's not just this is for those who are good at. It's not for those who are good at pronunciation or something. It's for those who care. It's for those who care about Krishna. Do I care about Krishna? Do I care to become Krishna conscious? If I care, I will put my attention anywhere. Sometimes people say, I can't read, I don't have the habit of reading. I don't like reading. That's because they had a bad experience reading the school textbooks or whatever. But if suppose something related to their family member, suppose a news comes out about their family member, something happened, they will read the news. Why? Because they care about the person about whom the article is there. Yeah, however long they will read it fully. Because they care about the subject. So it's not about whether I like reading or I don't like reading. Do I care about, am I serious about my own Krishna consciousness? Our movement, Prabhupada aptly named it as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we should always check ourselves whether I'm Krishna conscious, whether I'm conscious of Krishna, whether I'm consciously doing what I'm doing. Like the other day, I had a conversation with a devotee. What is the meaning of Mahaprasade Govinde verse? We're glorifying Mahaprasadam. Right? Is that the meaning? Mahaprasade Govinde, Mahaprasadam ki jai, that is the meaning of the verse. Mahaprasadam ki jai. But is that the meaning? Do you know? Shame on us. Is it not? Shame on us if we don't know. We're singing Prasad Sevaya mantra. What is the meaning? Mahaprasade means in Mahaprasadam. Govinde, in Govinda. Nama Brahmani means the spiritual name or the holy name of Krishna. Brahman, Parabrahman is Krishna. Nama Brahmani, the spiritual sound vibration, the name, just Krishna's name. So in the holy name, so in Mahaprasadam, in Govinda, in the holy name, Brahmani, Vaishnava, in Vaishnavas, Swalpa Punyavatam. Alpa means little. Swalpa means very little. Su alpa. Su prefix means very. Swalpa means su alpa. Swalpa punya. Punya means pious. Piety. Swalpa punyavatam means those who are very little piety. That means who are extremely sinful. So, Swalpa punyavatam Rajan. Rajan means, O king, Vishwaso naiva jayate. The Vishwas, the faith in these four things will never arise in their heart. In Mahaprasadam, in Krishna, in the holy name, and in the Vaishnavas, there will be no faith for those who are very little, those who have very little stock of piety. Means who are very sinful. That is the meaning of the verse. That means the implication of the verse is we have to have faith in these four. If I am becoming more and more devotee, I should have faith in these four things. In the faith in Mahaprasadam, faith in Krishna, faith in the holy name, and faith in Vaishnavas, faith in association with Vaishnavas, that I will improve my life, I will become a nice devotee of Krishna and go back to Godhead with the association of devotee. What is that? Chhadiya Vaishnav Sevan Nistar Payache Keba. Chhadiya Vaishnav, who has gone to the spiritual world without serving the Vaishnavas? So by serving the Vaishnavas, I can go to the spiritual world without a doubt. That faith, Vishwas, we should have. So how much am I strengthening my Vishwas in these four things? That is the meaning of the verse. But we think Mahaprasad Govinda, Mahaprasadam ki jai. Arre, put some buddhi there. This is called Mai Arpita Mano Buddhi. Mai Arpita, invest your mind and intelligence in being conscious of what we are doing. Krishna consciousness. So like that, everyone, we should pay attention. Attention, why we should pay? If we care, we will pay attention. Like you don't need to tell the mother, pay attention to your child. Mother will pay because she cares. So do I care about Krishna? Nathe vidu swarthagatim Vishnu. Do I care about myself? Or do I care about people's opinions? I should chant Mahaprasada Govinda before Prasadam, because otherwise devotees will look at me and say, what, this guy is not chanting Mahaprasadam mantra. So what am I doing it for? To put on a good show in front of others, or to actually improve myself, to actually benefit myself? Swarthagati. Am I interested in myself first of all? So if we don't pay attention to these things, it shows a lack of interest in ourselves. It's a suicidal mentality. We're killing ourselves, atmaha, if we don't pay attention. If we just do the things, samsara dhavana, leedha loka, tranaya, karana, if I ask you the meaning, you cannot say. I asked one devotee recently, we are coming Mangalarti, we are singing, you know the song? Yeah, samsara dhavana. Okay, I'm not going to test you on the lyrics because I think you will fail. Never mind. But do you know what the song is about? I just want to know. Do you want to know what the song is about? You know what the answer was? Glorifying the Lord. Is it correct? What is it? What is the song about? Yeah. Glorify the spiritual master. That much also don't know. That much also. You know what I'm saying? So, I have not even touched upon the topic of this today's class. So, let's go. And we're going to finish like that. Okay. This is a very important verse. And This verse means a lot actually to me, because it's happened in my life. So when one goes to Krishna for material desires, Krishna says, the Krishna fulfills the desires of the devotee, even if it is material desire, in such a way that he will never ask for more benedictions. Usually, kamastayastar hritagnyana prapadyante anya devata. Tam nemamas. Those whose desires are stolen by illusion surrender to the demigods, right? What verse is that? 720. So, like that, number should come out, verse should come out. That is satisfying audience. So, kamaistayastar hritagnyana prapadyante anya devata tam nemamas. So here, Krishna is saying, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods. So he said like this. But same devotees, same people who have material desires, when they come to Krishna, he said 7:16, Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritinarjuna arto jignyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Now, the next verse he says, so 4 kinds of, these people also material desires, but they come to Krishna in this case, not demigods. Okay? Tesham jnani nityayukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham cha mama priyaha. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Okay, fine. Next verse, 7:18. Here important. Udarah sarva evaite. You see here? There he said Hritagnyana. Here he is saying Udarah. You see, okay, now you don't connect to the word, right? Udara. See? This is very important in Sanskrit. Udara means broad-minded. Udara. सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः सहि युक्तात्मा माम एवानुत्तमां गतिम्. Now, udara, magnanimous, very magnanimous, broad, very liberal. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but one who is situated in knowledge of me I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. So, when they come to Krishna though, he's telling they are magnanimous. Magnanimous means, what is magnanimous? Charitable. Very charitable, very liberal. Like if I keep something to myself, I'm not charitable. Not only money, even knowledge, for example. If I know something, I should share it with others. That is liberal, charitable person. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayata. Because he gave Krishna's love freely, charitably to everybody. Patra Patra Vichar Nahi Nahi Sthana Sthan Jai Jaha Paye Kare Taha Kore Prema Dan. Patra Patra Vichar Nahi Nahi Sthana Sthan Jai Jaha Paye Taha Kore Prema Dan. So that means Patra Apatra. Whether he is a proper recipient of, whether he is a fit person to receive bhakti or whether he is unfit. Doesn't matter. Vichar nahi. Patra patra vichar nahi. Nahi sthana sthana asthan. Whether in this place we should distribute Krishna consciousness or not. No consideration. Everywhere. Niyamita smaranena kalaha. Every day morning we sing. Right? We sing. Niyamita smaranena kala. Where does it come? Which verse? Nam namakari bahudha nija sarva shaktis tatra arpita niyamita smarane na kala. So there's no niyam or kala or sthan or nothing. Patra patra vichar nahi nahi sthana sthan jai jaha paye taha kore prema dan. Wherever, whoever is found, jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. whoever you meet, wherever you meet, however, whichever, distribute Krishna. So that is our, that is magnanimous. But of course, these are not magnanimous. These people who come to Krishna for material desires are not that level. But Krishna gave them this title of magnanimous, Udara Sarva Evaite. Why? Because if we come to Krishna even with material desires, never mind, you have come to the right place. And because we have come to the right place, or right person, therefore is Udara. Because why? Whatever the demigods can give, Krishna can give. Because whatever the demigods are giving are only by the sanction of Krishna. यावान अर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. This verse is related to that because instead of going to the demigods who are like well of water, if I want water, if I go to well, yeah, that's one way of getting water. But if I go to the river, I can get water for, in villages, it used to be like this. Prabhupada explained very nicely. There used to be wells for different purposes. And it makes sense because if I'm going to wash my clothes and I want to drink water from the same well, what is this going on? Right? So there's different standard of water, different thing. So for different purposes, different wells used to be there. Drinking water, this one, washing clothes, this one, and washing utensils, this one. I mean, there's so many different purposes. Irrigation, there are different wells for irrigating fields. So like that. But river can serve all purposes. Because even if I wash clothes, water is moving. And because it's moving water, you may say, oh, the next village will have all problems. But no, moving water, the thing is, it purifies. River water is always pure. When we take Ganga Jal, there are fish there, but still we drink. No, this water has touched fish. It's now impure. No, water is always pure. Ganga water. So, all purposes of Vedas. So, when we come to Krishna, he is like the river. Whatever the demigods are like wells, who can give this, that demigod can give that, this demigod can give this. But if one comes to Krishna, everything. So he is Udara, broad-minded, magnanimous. Oh, actually he's not so magnanimous, but Krishna is giving the title. Never mind, you are magnanimous. Because you have come to the right person. So, when we come to Krishna, what happens is today's verse. So, even if we had a desire, it will be Krishna will fulfill it in such a way that we will forget that desire itself. He gives himself, who is the bestower of all desires. Hey, not this. 22:42. स्थानाभिलाषे तपसि स्थितोऽहं त्वां प्राप्तवान् देवमुनीन्द्रगुह्यं काचं विचिन्वन्नपि दिव्यरत्नं स्वामिन् कृतार्थोऽस्मि वरं न याचे. Sthana Abhilashi. Abhilash means, what is Abhilash? Desire. Abhilash, desire. Those, at least Indian languages, they will have some background. Abhilash means desire. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, right? Jnana Karma Dhanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilinam Bhaktiruttama. Anya Abhilash, other desires. So here, Sthana Abhilashi, I was a Sthana Abhilashi. I was a desirer of a great place, a great position. I wanted a Sthana, I wanted a place in this universe, most superior, more even to Brahma, superior even to Brahma. So Sthana Abhilashi, being such a desirous person, tapasi sthitoham, I was situated. Sthita means situated. Aham means I. I was situated in a great penance because of the desire for a great position in this world, in this universe. Tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam. I have achieved you now, who are very difficult. Guhyam means what? Any idea? Bhagavad Gita, this word comes. Yes. See, that's how you have to match. If I don't pay attention, I don't match. Deva Munindra Guhyam, yeah, stand nicely, and then completely out of mind, out of Guhyam means secret. Guha means what? Guha? Cave. So in a cave, it is hidden. So Guhyam. Cave, Guha. Guhya means one is inside the cave, hidden. That is Guhyam. So in this way, we have to understand where it is coming from, the origin of this word. Then it becomes interesting. So Deva Munindra Guhyam. Deva means demigods. Muni means sages. And Indra means we think Indra, the demigod, but Indra means, no, Indriya means senses. Indra means not senses. Like we say, Virendra means what? Even with the word Indra means like superlative, like very great. Like Munivara. Asuravarya. Asuravara means, Varya means like a exalted, stalwart. So Deva Munindra means the greatest of sages. Let's see how it is translated. The great demigods, saintly persons and kings. Indra also can be kings. But Deva Munindra means the greatest of demigods and sages. And Guhyam means you are a secret to even the greatest of personalities in this universe. But I have achieved you. Although I was Sthanabhilashi and I was Tapasisthitoham for that Sthanabhilash. Kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam. Kacham. What is kacham? Yeah, broken pieces of glass. Kach. Even Bengali also kach. I think Odia, kach? Yes. Same. We should connect like that. Vichinman. What is vichinman? Searching. Kacham vichinman. Api divyaratnam. A transcendental gem. Although I was searching for a piece of glass, now I got the transcendental gem. Swamin, oh my Lord, Kritarthosmi. I am fully satisfied. Kritarthosmi. I am fully satisfied. Varam na yache. I don't want any benediction. See, in this way, if you understand the verse, no, as we are chanting, we can relish the verse. So, Dhruva Maharaj went in the same way, with great desire. Two personalities, you can see, Hiranyakashipu also did Sthanabhilashi Tapasisthitoham. He also did. But Tvam Praptavan did not happen. He did not prapti Kṛṣṇa. He did not achieve Kṛṣṇa. Praptavan means a person who achieved. Bhagavan means a person who has. Van means one who has. The Praptavan means one who has achieved. Bhagavan means one who has opulences. Shaktiman means one who has power or energy. So Van, Man, they are possessors. Possessive. Hanuman. I don't know. Hanu.
Because he was going to the sun in that second, and when he fell down to look his God,
Not broke. I mean, it's got burnt. I don't know what that Hanuman means, but yeah, it's a good question. We should know. Why we should not know? Jambavan. Yeah, I don't know what the meaning is. We should know. Huh? Vidwan means one who has Vidya. Good. Like that you should connect. Very good. Then it becomes interesting. Then you make all the connections in your head. Yeah, now it makes sense. So whenever the suffix is at the end of the word, Van is there. Prefix means before the word, like Alpa, Swalpa, Agatam, Swagatam, Swagatam, Agatam. So prefix, suffix, if we know a little bit, then we will get to know what is actually being said there. So Hiranyakashipu was a sthanabhilashi tapasisthitoham. Tapasi. He was tapasvi. And Dhruva Maharaj also was sthanabhilashi tapasvi. But because Dhruva Maharaj went to Krishna or Vishnu and Hiranyakashipu was against Vishnu, the different results they got. He got a transcendental gem who is Vishnu. He got Bhasma. He was killed. Of course, he also got Vishnu because he was killed by Vishnu. That's another thing. But it is not the same achievement. He died as an enemy. So, being austere is not even for material thing. If you go to Krishna, then it is beneficial for the person who has, because Krishna does this. Did we read the purport? Yeah, that's what. In the purport, there is a good explanation. Okay. So let's see the purport. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The devotees mentioned in the previous verse approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead with material motives, but this verse explains how such devotees are saved from those desires. They come to Krishna to fulfill those desires, but Krishna saves them from the desires. He does not fulfill those desires. He saves them from the desires. So the desires are actually what will harm the person. So Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10 advises, Akamaha sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi. You see the udara? Udaraha sarva evaite. Remember the word? 7.18. Udaradhi. Dhi means intelligence. Intelligence. Like samadhi and dhimahi. Dhimahi means concentration. In Gayatri it comes, right? Dhimahi. Actually, that is different from dhi. Sama adhi. Adhi means how to say? Yes. He is spirit, equal to spirit. So it's a good question. I need to be confirmed about this because I don't want to speculate. Samadhi. Samadhi. Yeah, it's equal to the spiritual. The body is non-material, it's spiritual, and they have attained spiritual enlightenment. They have achieved perfect trance. But Dhimahi, if you say the first verse of Bhagavatam, Dhimahi, see this word comes in Gayatri Mantra. I do meditate upon. So Dhi means intelligence. When I focus my intelligence on something, that's Dhimahi. So Satyam Param Dhimahi. I meditate upon the Satyam Param, the absolute truth. So going back, Akamaha sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhihi. Those are broad intelligence. They will, for whatever reason, they come to the one source. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Tivrena means tivra. Huh? Okay. What is it? Tivra means severe. Severe. Actually, if you go to here, let's see how it is translated in here. With great force, you see? Tivrena. Severe. With severe force. Tivrena bhakti yogena. So, yajeta purusham param. So, what is that? Whether one is freed from all material desires, is full of material desires, or desires to become one with the Supreme, he should engage in devotional service. And not just should engage with great force, with great determination, with great persistence, with great enthusiasm, patience, we should do. And for a long time. For a long time. Here that akamaha, Sarvakamaha, Mokshakamaha. Who is Sarvakami? Another name for Sarvakami in Sanskrit. He is a karmi. Mokshakami? What is the other word for him? No. Yes. Sanskrit? Jnani. Karmi, Jnani. And Akamaha. Who is Akama? Huh? Devotees. Why Akama?
No material.
Yeah. No material desires. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Abhilash means desire. Anya abhilash. Anya means no. Huh? Anya means other than. Other desires, zero. What other desires, zero? Then what desire? Anukulyana Kṛṣṇanuṣīlanam. Only desiring to serve Krishna. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Shunyam is zero. In this way, not only will the devotee's desires be fulfilled, but the day will come when he will have no other desire than to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. One who engages in the service of the Lord with some motive is called a sakama bhakta. Okay? Sakama. Why is called sakama bhakta? Okay, we should also understand this. Otherwise, we will never remember this word, sakama bhakta. Kama means? What is kama? Ribur. See? Not paying attention. What is kama? Yeah. Material desire. Lust means what?
Very strong desire.
No. Kama means what? Kama means lust. But what does lust mean? Yeah. Enjoy our senses. Not only sexual desire. Sexual desire is the pinnacle of lust. But if I lust after wealth, that is also lust. If I lust after achieving, I want to become the top runner, I want to become a top cricketer, whatever, businessman, whatever. So that is also lust. I am lusting for something. That is Thana Bhilashi is actually a kama. Because he wanted a position, Dhruv Maharaj. So sa means, so kama we have understood. What is the prefix sa? Means with desire bhakta. The bhakta with desire. Bhakta with material desire. So sa means with. You know, do you know this word sodara? Sodara? Huh? You should know. Sodara. No? Huh? Sahodara means what? Yes. Same. Sodara is brother. But why Sahodara is brother? It will be interesting if you know. Yes. Every Indian language. Tamil also? Sahodara is brother? Actually, it is Sahodara in Tamil ga. Because Magaraja, Namaga. Tamil will become all ha become ga. So Maharaja become Magaraja. Sahodara or Sodara. Why it is called? Sodara is also another word. Sahodara, same. Saha and sa, same. Sa means with. Udara means womb. Yeah. So one who is born from the same womb is Sodara or Sahodara. That means same mother. Okay. That's why it is brother. Or sister. Sahodari means Sodari means sister, like that. So you see, Sodara. Sa udara. So sa kama. Sa kama. So with desire. Bhakta, sakama bhakta. So he is a bhakta, but he has material desire still. So one who engages in the service of the Lord with some motive is called a sakama bhakta. And one who serves the Lord without any motives is called a akama bhakta. Krishna is so merciful that he turns a sakama bhakta into an akama bhakta. A pure devotee, an akama bhakta who has no material motives, is satisfied simply to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. That's it. That's his only satisfaction. Krishna is satisfied, that's it. I am satisfied. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 6.22. Yam labdva cha aparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha. Can you deduct the meaning from that Sanskrit itself? Yam means by which. Labdva, actually yam means which. Labdva means by, obtaining. By obtaining which. Labdha means, labham means gain, right? Labdva means by obtaining. By obtaining which, cha aparam, param means supreme. Aparam means there is no other thing as supreme. Cha aparam labham, there is no other better labham. Once we obtain this, what is that? Krishna consciousness. Yam means here, because if you see the previous verse, it is Krishna consciousness. So by obtaining which, you will realize that there is nothing higher than this. Manyate. Manyate means he thinks. Mana. Mana means mind. Manyate means one who thinks. Na adhikam. Na adhikam. Adhikam means? Yes. Excess. Excessive. Or more. Adhikam means more. Na adhikam tataha. There is nothing more than this. There is nothing higher than this. So when we achieve Krishna consciousness, then we will realize that there is nothing higher than this, nothing more than this to be achieved. So if one engages in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, he does not want anything more. This is the highest stage of devotional service. The Lord is so kind even to a sakama bhakta, a motivated devotee. Okay. Do you understand this phrase, motivated devotee? Why sakama is motivated devotee?
Because devotees are not for that purpose. But whereas pure devotee has no material that is motivated to do.
So he is
more of a unmotivated, I would say, devotional service. Like this one, if he has a purpose, the one is without any purpose. He must serve the Lord for the Lord's regard.
good, correct explanation. But I can imagine a few devotees thinking motivated devotee means like I'm motivated to become a devotee, right? I would think like that, right? Like unmotivated devotional service means I'm not motivated to devotional service. Like I have no more like motivation, motivation. I have a feeling wanting to do. So when I have no motivation, so why such a word is used? Unmotivated devotional service. Oh, we should do devotional service without any motivation. Why is unmotivated devotional service pure devotional service? We should be fully like enthusiastic. Usually we associate enthusiasm with motivation, right? If I'm motivated means I'm enthusiastic about it, right? So if it's unmotivated devotional service, why is it pure devotional service? Why such a word is used?
But the motivation here does not mean enthusiasm. It means that you are doing it to serve yourself.
That is the motive. That means there is an ulterior motive due to which one has become a devotee. His interest is not Krishna. He has some other motive. That is the meaning of here motivated devotee. He has an ulterior motive than to serve Krishna. Ulterior motive means you're not coming for the right reasons. You have another reason. So when his unmotivated devotional service means he has no other ulterior motive. His one motive is to serve Krishna. So usually ahaituki. Why it is ahaituki? Again. Okay, I think this is a bit not so easy. Because if you know Hindi, yeah, and I think many Indian languages, yes. Hetu, what is Hetu? Hetu. Yes. See, that is, I like this. This is how we should connect. Not Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. What is the meaning? Hetu. No. Patita Pavana means
Patitam is fallen, Pavana means
purify, deliver, purify. Hetu Tava Avatar. Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. Yes, but why? Why Ahaituki is unmotivated? To understand the word Ahaituki, we have to understand the word Haituki. Then Ahaituki is the opposite of that. So what is Haituki? Haituki comes from the word Hetu. Like Vishnu, and a person who is a devotee of Vishnu is Vaishnava. Vasudev, the son of Vasudev, is Vasudev. So there is a that becomes added after the first consonant. Vasudev. In between the Va and Asudev, there is a there. Becomes Vasudev. Hetu, Ha plus Etu, between that, becomes becomes there. Haituki. A plus A is I. Haituki. Haitu. But it's not Haitu, Haituki. Hetu means cause. Cause. Yes. Haituki means causeless. Hetu means cause. So Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. Cause or reason. Reason. No, not causeless. No. Patita Pavana means to save the fallen, to purify the fallen people. No. Patita Pavana means purify the fallen or save the fallen, deliver the fallen. Hetu means for the reason. Tava Avatar. Your incarnation is for the reason of your incarnation is to save the fallen. Mosama Patita nahi na paibe aar. Mosama Patita. Yeah, your incarnation is to save the fallen, but you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. So my claim is first. You should save me first. So that is Hetu. Hetu means cause. Ahaituki means causeless. That means also unmotivated, without any other motive. So you see how, if I don't explain, I assume that everybody understands. But no. And actually, if you do understand, it becomes so interesting because you will have all these connections now. You have connected it in so many ways. If you just dig deep a little bit, then it becomes interesting. The Lord is so kind even to a Sakama Bhakta, a motivated devotee, that he satisfies his desires in such a way that one day he becomes an Akama Bhakta. Dhruva Maharaj, for example, became a Bhakta with the motive of getting a better kingdom than that of his father. But finally, he became an Akama Bhakta and said to the Lord, Swamin Kritarthosmi Varam Nayache. CC Mantha 22:40. We just read that. My dear Lord, I am very satisfied simply to serve your lotus feet. I do not want any material benefits. Sometimes it is found that a small child eats dirty things, but his parents take away the dirty things and offer him a sandesh or some other sweetmeat. Devotees who aspire for material benedictions are compared to such children. The Lord is so kind that he takes away their material desires and gives them the highest benediction. Therefore, even for material motives, one should not worship anyone other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must fully engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord so that all his desires will be fulfilled and at the end he can go back home, back to Godhead. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila 22:37 through 39 and 41 as follows. Anyakami, A devotee may desire something other than service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Anya abhilashi. Anya abhilashita shunyam. So, anya kami. Kami means, kama means lust. Kami means, what is that? One who is lusty. He will be a fruitive worker, but one who is lusting after material things. So, anya kami. But one who is actually wanting to become greedy for devotional service, he is also can be called kama, bhakta kama. But that desire for devotion is different from a kama, lust. So, anya kami means a person who is desiring something else than devotional service to Krishna. Anya kami, jadi kore Krishner bhajan. Jadi, Y becomes J in Bengali. Just like in Mexico, this is the other way around, right? In Mexican, in Spanish, what is the Mexican language? Is it Spanish? Right? So there, and even in Philippines, in America, there is so many places. I can remember this. SAN space JOSE. SANJOSE. How do you pronounce that? San Jose? San Jose? No. Not exactly. San Jose. Jose. H sound. Yeah. San Jose. So, like that, in other language, there is another language which J becomes Y. Is it Brazilian? I don't know. One of those languages. Anyway, J becomes Y. But here Y becomes J. So in Bengali, the pronunciation is like that. Jadi kore, and it's not kare, kore. In Hindi, it's kare, actually. In Bengali, it's kore. Jadi kore, jo, jodi. It's not yadi, jodi. Jodi kore, Krishner bhajan. Bhajan. It's not pronounced as bhajana. Bhajan. Not bhojan. Bhajan. Jadi kore Krishner bhajan. So, anyway, coming back. A devotee may desire something other than Krishna's service, but if he engages in Krishna's service, jadi kore Krishna bhajan, na magiteha Krishna tare dena swacharan. Krishna gives him shelter at his lotus feet even though he does not aspire for it. Krishna kohe. So this is how Krishna thinks. The Lord says, Ama bhaje. He is engaged in my service. Mage vishaya sukha. But he wants the benefits of material sense gratification. Amrita chhari vishamage. Such a devotee is like a person who asks for poison instead of nectar. He gives up nectar and asks for poison. A bada murkha. What is murkha? Fool. A bada murkha. Bada means big. That is his foolishness. If here is mentioned that is his foolishness. Actually, it is if you exactly translate he is a big fool. Because he has come to me, but he's still worshipping for that. Ami Vigya, but I am experienced, I am knowledgeable. Ei murkhe visha kena debo? Kena means why? Kena debo means why should I give? Why should I give such a foolish person the dirty things of material enjoyment? He does not know, he is murkha. Amrita chhadi vishamage. He is giving up nectar and asking for poison. But I know what is right. Why? Ei murkhe vishaya kene debo? Why should I give him material enjoyment? Swacharanamrita. It would be better for me to give him shelter at my lotus feet. Vishaya bhulaibo. Bhulaibo means he'll forget. Vishaya means material enjoyment. I shall cause him to forget all material desires. Kama lagi Krishna bhaje. If one engages in the service of the Lord for sense gratification, Kama lagi Krishna bhaje. Actually it's not Paya. Paya Krishna rase. The result is that he ultimately gets a taste for serving the lotus feet of the Lord. You see, this is how I know there is a spelling mistake here. It's not poi, paya, paya. Pai means he obtained. In Bengali, if you know, मैं ये पाया हूँ. I mean, in Hindi, if you know paya, you know Hindi. So, paya labor. Paya Kṛṣṇa rase. The result is that he ultimately gets a taste for serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Rasa means, what is rasa? Kama chhadi, you see, dāsa. This is wrong. Dāsa hoite hoy abhilashe. Kama chhadi dāsa hoite hoy abhilashe. He then gives up all material desires and wants to become an eternal servant of the Lord. Kama chhadi das hoite hoy abhilashe. Das hoite hoy abhilashe. So, this is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishna thinks like that and gives like this. He gives his. So when we go to Krishna for material desires, he thinks this fool has come to me. In the Bhagavad Gita, he said Udaraha, magnanimous souls. Here he is saying, hey, bada murkha. He is being honest here. So he is telling the devotees that you are magnanimous. Udaraha sarva evaite. But here he is saying, hey, bada murkha. Inside what he is thinking and outside what he is saying is two different things. Outside he is saying something to encourage us. Oh, he has come to me, so I am magnanimous. Oh, yes. So he encouraged. Okay. But inside he is thinking, actually, he is a murkha. Not murkha, bada murkha. But good, he at least came to me. I will purify. At least he has come to the right person. Although he is a fool, big fool, I will purify because he has come to me. That's all Krishna wants. He doesn't matter. He doesn't care whether we are fool or intelligent. He cares whether we want him or not. That's all he cares. When we want him, that's it. Okay, you are fool or whether you are intelligent, whatever. You come to me now. Then you are right. I will take care of you now. So he has his own emotions. It's like just like sometimes there is husband-wife fighting, and most of the time the fight is not about what is. The fight goes on like I am right and this and that. But you know what? Ultimately, especially the women, they care whether you like her or not. Whatever it is, whether you are still there for me or not. Think like that. So that's what really matters for them. Even for the man also, because whether right or wrong, whether the woman is still with me or not. So for Krishna, that's what matters, whether we are with Krishna or not. Kama chhadi das hoite. That's it. Finish. All. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshisham. No reasoning anymore. When there is karma, the law of karma means there is reasoning. If I do something, I will get an equal and opposite reaction. Right? I get it. There is a reason. Like if I am suffering, there is a reason I have done something. So there is a cause and effect. But when I surrender to Krishna, he forgets, he sets aside the reasoning. He says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. This was the contest between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. And they were defeated. Yamadutas were defeated by Vishnudutas and they went to Yamaraj. And said, he is so sinful, this Ajamil, and we were unable to take him. Then the Vishnudutas, when the Yamaduta and Vishnuduta had argument, the Yamadutas were saying, this is so sinful, whole life sinful. No, his sin is completely absolved. Huh? How come you are saying sin is completely absolved? No, he chanted the holy name. So what? One time chanting whole life and then one time chanting, how can it be relieved? No, it is relieved. And then they went back to Yamaraj. They could not take him. They went back to Yamaraj and said, we were defeated. But never were we defeated. We thought you are the supreme. Wherever we go, we will snatch the soul and come back here. But this time we were defeated. Then Yamaraj instructs them. So The logic was broken. The logic of karma, that this means you get this means you get this. There is a logic. But the logic, Krishna throws away everything. All those things, what you have done wrong, everything, all excused. Huh? How come? I have to pay that. I have to pay back, right? For that and that and that and that. But we should understand why he throws away all that reasoning. Because when there is right and wrong, why something is right and why something is wrong? We should question this. We should actually understand why there is right and wrong. Because if I think there is only one life, and after this life, paying attention, pay attention, because it will be interesting if you understand this. If there is one life, right, and if we just die after this, there's nothing after this. Why should we do something right and wrong? Why there should be anything right or wrong? I should just live as I want, because anyway, there is no consequence, there is no anything. I die, so what? I should do whatever I want. But right and wrong is there because why something is right? Because if you do that, then you are encouraged to do by saying you do like this and to reward that means a certain behavior is being encouraged. It's all an incentive. You know, incentive? Yeah? Reward. Like if I like Fortune 500 companies, right? If you are a good company, everything very good business and everything very nice systems, everything in place. So when you make good money, there is a reward, there is an incentive. Or forget all that. Why do I work? Because there's an incentive, a salary. So we are incentivized. When there is no incentive or we don't understand the incentive, then we are not as motivated, not as enthusiastic about it. Right? If I'm asked to work, but I'm not given a salary, or I'm given 1/3 of my salary, I'll not be as motivated to work. So our motivation, our enthusiasm is directly proportional to the incentive. Right? So we should always think like policies, even government policies. They say, there's so many good examples, but nothing comes to mind. Okay, even this thing, in the MRT, if you go, there is there is ads there. Oh, make space for others. Then you are bring joy to the people around you. Make space. They say something like that. Why? Because the incentive is I want to be known as a good person. So that advertisement is pointing to our innate desire to be known as a good person. So if I want to be known as a good person, if I make space, then I will be known as a good person. I want to be known as a good person. That's my ego. I want to be identified as a good person. So I want to do nice things to others. Or if I make space, that's a nice thing. Yeah, okay, I will do that. So because it hits my ego. So if we see why something is right, why something is punya, why something is papa, why is it called like that? Why there is reward and punishment? Because it's incentive to go more in that direction. But why we should go in that direction? Because actually there is a goal. For those who are not so clear about the goal, for them he is incentivized to go to the next milestone, to go to the next milestone. But if I'm very clear about the goal, I don't need these incentives because I know I have to go there. And I'm working towards that. But these karmis, they don't know that what is the ultimate goal of life. So when they do not know, they can only see immediate rewards. They will identify with that. Oh, if I do this, oh, there is a good result. Okay, I will do this. But it is to point you eventually to that. It's a wayfinding. Wayfinding. Turn left here, turn right there, turn left. When we are driving with a GPS, there is a goal there, but it will only guide you the next move, right? 300 meters, turn left. Take the exit here. It is to just get you to the next change in route, like turn left, turn whatever. So this wayfinding is like, okay, go to the next. Okay, this is encouraged. This is encouraged. This is encouraged. Ultimately, you get to the Krishna consciousness. So that's why we should understand why something is right, why something is wrong, because it is pointing to some direction. And why this is wrong? Because it is pointing away from this direction. The goal is here. And anything that brings you closer to this goal is considered as pious. Anything that takes you a little closer or makes you in a favorable position. Not necessarily closer, but favorable. When anything that takes you away, that is considered as papa. That is punished. So, why Krishna throws away the logic of karma when one surrenders to Krishna? Because once you have reached a destination, why do you need the GPS anymore? If you go wrong direction in the GPS, then it will reroute for you. No, take again U-turn and come back, like this it will say, right? So when we are going away, then the estimated time of arrival will be longer now, right? Same way, exactly what happens when we do papa, when we do sinful, we go away from the destination and it takes longer for us to come back. We're punished for that. So in order for us not to go there, it's good that punishment is there so that we are not incentivized to go there. And we're incentivized to perform pious activities. Why? Because if we do pious activities, then there is a better chance that we may associate with devotees. Because devotees may be found in greater proportion in some pious place, in some pious activity somewhere, you may find devotees. Our devotees are going to Perumal temple. Our devotees may not be found outside a liquor shop. There is a less probability of that. Nityananda Prabhu went to liquor shop and preached and made them devotees. But devotees may not be expected to be found there, right? Of course, merciful devotees, they will go anywhere, even hell. But you will have a higher proportion, higher chance of meeting devotees if we are pious, right? That's why piety is encouraged, because ultimately devotee meeting and then going back to Krishna. So incentive. But when we surrender to Krishna, we have reached a destination. Forget everything. So Krishna throws away all that logic of this, you have to pay for that. Oh, but I have killed so many people, never mind. I have forgiven you everything, you come to me. You have understood your mistake. Because once you come to Krishna, not only are you at the destination, the reason for punishment is to correct your understanding and correct your action. But now if I have come to the most correct action of surrender to Krishna, and once I know Krishna, yo mam eva masamudho, janat purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharat. When I know Krishna, I know everything after that. I already know that what is right, what is wrong. Oh, I have done so much wrong. Repentance is already there. You have you have fulfilled everything when you come to Krishna. So that's why Krishna, this is what he wants. So although this verse says, even if you have material desires, please come to me. And akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradhi, that verse is quoted. So even if we have material desires, we should go to Krishna. But that is only in the beginning. It is for encouragement. But once we are actually Krishna conscious, having material desire is condemned. You see, like this. 499. Nunam vimushtamatayastava mayayate ye tvam bhavapyaya vimokshanamanya heto archanti kalpakatarum kunapopabhogyam icchanti yat sparshajam nirayepi nirinam. You see, persons who worship you simply for the sense gratification of this bag of skin are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. See, here he's saying a different thing. Persons who worship Krishna simply for sense gratification of this bag of skin, which is the body, are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. In spite of having you, who are like a desire tree and are the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desire benedictions from you for sense gratification, which is available even for those who live in hellish conditions. So if I go to Krishna and ask him for this, it is actually stupidity. It is actually offensive to ask material things from Krishna. Because what is the 10th offense? To maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. If I am so many after, so in the beginning when we don't have instructions, then we do, yeah, okay, it's something you have started. But once you know, why should I go to Krishna for material things? Prabhupada said when he was 2 years old, 1898, there was a big epidemic in Kolkata and so many people were dying. And one devotee, he arranged a Harinam Sankirtan to counteract the epidemic. So he did Sankirtan, chanting and dancing on the streets and everything. The disease was gone. Disease was gone. And everybody was like, hey, Sankirtan, yes. Prabhupada said that is offensive. Although they did and then it's gone, Prabhupada said that is not pure devotional service, that is offensive. Because we are using Krishna for curing disease. After the disease is finished, no more Sankirtan, close shop. That is not. Satatam kirtayanto maam. Always. Sukhe dukhe bhulo na ko, sada hari naam bolo re. Narottam Das Thakur said, Sukhe dukhe bhulo na ko, sada hari naam bolo re. Easy to understand? No. Sukhe means in happiness. Dukhe means in distress. Sukhe dukhe bhulo na ko means, huh? No. Bhulo means forget. Bhul gaya. Bhulo na ko means don't forget. Whether in distress or in happiness, don't forget to always chant the holy name. Sada hari naam bolo re. Sukhe dukhe bhulo na ko, sada hari naam bolo re. Yeah, nirantara. So whether we are in happiness or distress, we should chant. Not that we chant when we are happy or we chant when we are only distressed. Happy means, distracted now. Either we are in distress or we are distracted. Is this one also? Okay, this is a little bit different. Another one is Prabhu's. I was just asking about this. Okay, you see. I think 6948. Kim durapam mayi prite tathapi vibudharshabhah mayye kantamatirnanyan matto vanchati tattvavit. O best of the intelligent demigods, although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain when I am pleased with him, a pure devotee whose mind is exclusively fixed upon me does not ask me for anything but the opportunity to engage in devotional service. See? He who is Tattvavit, I mean the real Tattvavit, not the one sitting here. It's a bogus one. Mattaha vanchati Tattvavit. So one who knows the truth will only want Krishna. Although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain. So if when one is devotee, he automatically can get everything, but he does not ask. He does not ask even for what is this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he said? Nadhanam, najanam, nasundarim, kavitam, va jagadishikam. Mama janmani janmanishvare. Okay, I don't want wealth, following and money. But I don't want even liberation from birth and death and go back to Godhead. If Krishna, you think that I'm not qualified, it's okay. But one thing I don't want, one thing I want is your devotional service. I can stay away from you, but I cannot stay away from your bhakti. Because when we have bhakti, then actually Krishna is there. If we want to have Krishna without bhakti, we cannot have actually. So if we have bhakti, we have everything. All opulence is there. So a Krishna can be, a devotee can be separated from Krishna, no problem. But he cannot be separated from bhakti. And who is bhakti? The personification of bhakti? Huh? Radharani. Aradhana. Aradhana means worship. Radha. Aradhana. Radha. Radha means the personification of worship. The person who is worship personified. Aradhana personified is Radha. So, Radharani, that's why people in Vrindavan Jai Radhe. Of course, we don't say Jai Radhe, we say Hare Krishna. Even if they say Jai Radhe, we say Hare Krishna. We should say Hare Krishna because that's what we are taught. Our Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. So, we can stay away from Krishna, we cannot stay away from Radharani. Cannot stay away from Bhakti. And we don't lust upon Radharani like Ravana. He wanted Sita. He didn't want Ram, he wanted Sita, but in a very, very, very demoniac way. Like when we say we can be separate from Krishna, but we cannot stay separate from Radharani, that does not mean like Ravana. Oh, he can stay separate from Ram, but he cannot stay separate from Sita. It's a very demoniac way. He wanted to enjoy Sita. We are not here to enjoy Radharani. And that's why we say Hare Krishna. Because Hanuman also went after Sita. Being a brahmachari, he went after the most beautiful woman. His service was to find the most beautiful woman as a brahmachari. But he was not lusting after her. He was always he wanted to get her united with Ram. So bhakti, so we want Radharani with Krishna. So that's why Hare Krishna. Jai Radhe means, Prabhupada said, one can chant Jai Radhe, and he be after the Radha, the next door neighbor. And his Jai Radhe is actually meaning that Radha. So we are not here to enjoy Radha. We are here to serve Radha in her service to Krishna. Dāsa dāsana dāsa. So, next verse, you see. Naveda kripana shreya atmano gunavastu drik tasyatan ichhato yached yadi sopi tattvavit. Those who think material assets to be everything or to be the ultimate goal of life are called misers, kripanas. They do not know the ultimate necessity of the soul. Moreover, if one awards that which is desired by such fools, he must also be considered foolish. So if they go to Krishna for material desires and Krishna gives, okay, you take, then Krishna also should be considered foolish. But Krishna says, no, Ami Vignya. I am intelligent. I will not give. Next. Swayam Nishreyasam Vidwan Navakyan Agnyaya Karmahi Narati Rogino Pathyam Vanchatopi Bhishaktamaha. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. So this is why 1081:37 Sudama Vipra says, is it this one? Yeah. Bhaktaya chitra bhagavan hi sampado rajyam vibhutir na samarthayatyajah adirgha bodhaya vichakshana swayam pashyan nipatam dhaninam madodbhavam. To a devotee who lacks spiritual insight, that means who is not very advanced devotee, the Supreme Lord will not grant the wonderful opulences of this world, kingly power and material assets. Indeed, in his infinite wisdom, the unborn Lord well knows how the intoxication of pride can cause the downfall of the wealthy. So he does not give his devotee wealth because he knows it is not good for him. But he will give, like Dhruva Maharaj, he gave. Although Dhruva Maharaj said, I don't want any more. No, Vishnu said, no, I will give you now. You don't want, right? Now I will give you. When you want, I don't want to give you. Now you don't want, now I will give. Why? Because I know you will employ everything in my service. You will not want it. You will not fall down. Prahlad Maharaj also said. So 1088.8, that's the famous verse. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishyetad dhanam shanaihi tato dhanam tyajantyasya svajana dukha dukhitam. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. Because in today's verse, he said, oh, he fulfills his desires of his devotee, but how he fulfills, this is more detail. First, he takes away everything first. And then, oh, there's some verse here. Interesting verses in the purport here. But anyway, next verse. So he suffers one distress after another. Then, sayada vitathodyogo nirvinnaha syad dhanehaya matparaihi kritamaitrasya karishe madanugraham. When he becomes frustrated in his attempts to make money and instead befriends my devotees, I bestow my special mercy upon him. See, this is where he saves the devotee. Tadbrahma paramam sukshmam chinmatram sadanantakam vijñāyātmataya dhīraha samsārat parimuchyate. A person who has thus become sober fully realizes the Absolute as the highest truth, the most subtle and perfect manifestation of Spirit, the transcendental existence without end. In this way, realizing that the Supreme Truth is the foundation of his own existence, he is freed from the cycle of material life. This is how Kṛṣṇa fulfills. And in my life also, I read Bhagavad Gita, I wanted to go to China to become Kung Fu master. So after that, got Bhagavad Gita, read it. Now I know Kṛṣṇa is Supreme. Now I was starting to pray to Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa, please take me to China. I want to become Kung Fu master. So I had this desire. So Kṛṣṇa, what he did, he took away all my wealth. I became brahmachari here, nothing, And then 2015, I went to China. I went to the temple where I wanted to learn Kung Fu, Shaolin temple. In our preaching tour, we went to the Shaolin temple. We did kirtan there. Full Sankirtan, everybody was like enjoying, all Chinese also. There was an exhibition of all these, gymnastics, all the fighting, like this all. So I saw the demonstration, we were sitting and saying. I was like shaking my head all the while. Wow, how nice. I remember this verse at that time. So today's verse, Satyam Dishatyarthitam Arthiton, 5:19-27. How Kṛṣṇa fulfilled my desire of coming to Shaolin temple, but when I don't want it. Now when I'm seeing, I'm laughing at them, jumping like monkeys. Like I wanted to become like this. This was my goal of life. And now I have the transcendental diamond. I was looking for a broken piece of glass. Like I remember these two verses at the time. So it was a good. Kṛṣṇa fulfilled my desire. I did go to Shaolin. Now I don't want it. It's all right. We will stop here. Okay, I think there's no questions. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण।